As we bring you some of the day's top stories as well as breaking news when it happens. And next up, we want to talk about the historic day that Monday is going to have, as we are going to see Donald Trump jury selection underway in New York City for the hush money trial. To get more perspective and insight on this, I want to bring in a friend here of Live Now from Fox, Dwayne Cates, legal analyst and defense attorney. Thanks so much for joining us on Live Now. And what a moment this will be. I mean, it sounds so surreal just saying Donald Trump jury selection underway.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's unprecedented for a presidential candidate to be on trial during campaign season. So it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, it really, really will be. And so, of course, jury selection happening first before the trial here. And they are saying that jury selection could take anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks. Can you give us some insight of just what this process is going to look like as Donald Trump will be in the room as this is all happening?
Well, yeah, they bring in, depending on the size of the courtroom, they'll bring in between 50 and 70 jurors. And they start going through the voir dire process to determine if they can be fair and impartial in this case. They're going to ask them lots of questions, and the defense team will get the jurors' names. And when I pick a jury, if I have time, sometimes in real time, I have staff that emails juror names to back to the office, and they run social media profiles. They gather absolutely as much information as they can about each juror, because I mean it's really important to find somebody that can be fair and impartial. I mean, we all, human nature, we're always looking for jurors that are going to be good for us, but we at least have to determine which ones are going to be bad for us and try to weed them out.
Yeah, weed them out immediately. And Dwayne, are you also not only, of course, you're listening to what they are saying for their responses, but are you also looking at body language as well of the prospective jurors?
Oh, absolutely. I always have my clients, in the courtroom with a pad, and I have them, like, they'll call them by their juror number. So they'll say juror number 3. And they'll ask them a question, and I have them write the juror number down and just their gut thought. I could put a yes or a no or an up or a down. So just your gut feeling when they answer that first question on every juror. That way, because our gut feeling is right more often than it's wrong. And you got to rely on that. You got to get that feeling from that juror. And the only way you get that is being in the courtroom face to face with that juror.
And Dwayne, how hard is it going to be for Trump's defense team to try and to get some people where they feel that they'll be impartial, but they won't be, these Trump haters? Let's face it, in New York City, he doesn't have a big, people there supporting him. So how do they go about this?
Well, the big problem they're going to have, and this is going to be a huge problem, is that it's going to be the fame of being on this jury. So there, a lot of times you got people trying to get off of jurors and not be on the jury. But here we're going to have people that are trying to get on the jury. And there's going to be people that are trying to get on the jury just so they can bring Donald Trump down. And it's really hard to find them, because a lot of times what they do is they just don't say anything. They answer the question the bare minimum. They don't speak up, and it's hard to weed them out.
Yeah, I just can't imagine how that process would be when you're dealing with someone that, they'll say anything just to try to get on this case here in this trial. And I want to talk a little bit about more of the future here, as this trial is expected to go anywhere from 8 to 9 weeks. That is what they are saying. But let's just go and see. If Donald Trump is convicted here in this, he could look up to 4 years in prison. Now, of course, this is all happening in the background of a major campaign that is going on. He's the presumptive nominee on the Republicans. If he's convicted, is he sentenced right away? How does that happen?
In some cases, they can be sentenced right away, but I'm sure the defense will delay that as long as possible. I'm sure there are motions you can file upon losing a jury trial. And it's interesting. I've won 3 of those where I've gotten a verdict thrown out between the time the verdict came in and the time sentencing came up. I mean, I don't know anybody that's got 3 thrown out, but it happens. You know, you always got to look. You always got to look for those reasons to do that. They're also going to try to delay it as much as possible because the last thing they want to do is have him convicted. However, I don't know that that's going to hurt him. In fact, if he's convicted, okay, I think that may help his popularity. I mean, it may give people more resolve to vote for him and to support him.
Well,
It's going to, you know, we've never seen this before, so we really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true, and I know what you're talking about. I mean, just based off the indictments when Donald Trump was, and you saw what the poll numbers were doing then, and I could just imagine what a conviction would do possibly here. Is there anything from today up until Monday that Trump's legal team can do to try even to delay jury selection coming up on Monday?
Try to do that, but I don't think they can at this point. The judge has already said, we're going. Here's the schedule. Unless something extraordinary happens, I think it's going. But, you know, the nice thing for Donald Trump, and he's going to get a ton of earned media from this trial. I mean, him sitting in this trial, you know, is probably better than him, you know, being out doing rallies, because I think this is going to do more to solidify his base than holding rallies all over the country.
Yeah, that is so true. And Dwayne, I want to talk before we go here about the 3 that you were able to get off for your clients between that moment of sentencing. What is a defense looking at as far as those moments where you can try to get the person off even after a conviction?
One of the big ones was prosecutorial misconduct. And you know, and you know, you catch the prosecutor doing things that are not right during trial. You know, the other ones probably don't play. One of them was what's called the 13th juror, where a judge can actually go back and reweigh the evidence and grant the person a new trial, you know, based on that reweighing of the evidence. I don't think we got a shot in heck of this judge doing that for Donald Trump, you know, if he loses. You know, and the other one was basically an error in the verdict forms I just happened to catch, and asked the judge to declare a mistrial, and they did.
It is going to be fascinating to see all this happen on Monday as it'll continue to go forward here. But Dwayne Cates, thanks so much for joining us on Live Now from Fox, getting us ready for Monday and beyond in this hush money trial. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. You take care.